Tricky Dick.
Tricky Dick Nixon. Yeah. He was not a crook, but he was a crook.
Turned out he was lying about that too.
Yeah. And then
was he a crook? Did he steal like money?
No, he
stole an election.
He conspired to do illegal things.
Yeah, but that's not a crook.
Yeah, it is.
What is a crook?
A person who does illegal things.
So how come I've never seen a commercial for Cookie Crisp where Cookie Crook is committing white collar crime?
You know what? That's the problem with America today.
He was a crook because he was stealing.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll rebrand it now. Maybe they'll say...
I don't think so. I think they're moving away from serving chocolate chip cookies as breakfast.
Well, not anymore. You know what? They're really turning that stuff around. They're like, because Michelle Obama's gone.
Yeah.
Now they're like, yeah, guess what? We're going to give kids shit now. They'll eat shit and they'll like it because screw Obama. Lady Obama, as they call her.
Lady Obama.
Do you know what else they call her?
What?
Oh, bummer. I see it. I've seen it on message boards, Tom.
Not to get into current politics too much, but I did see they were like, Melania Trump is deciding to keep the vegetable garden that Michelle Obama built in the White House or outside the White House. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking she decided to keep the thing at the place she's never been to. Yeah, of course. It's more work to get rid of it.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, actually, you know what? You can keep all the stuff there. Yeah, it's all great. It's all perfect for me already. Thank you.
Tom, all right, so we've covered Tricky Dick. Mm-hmm. He was a common crook.
He was anything but common. He was the president.
That's true.
Yeah, he was President Crook.
How do you feel about Tom?
Mm-hmm.
I have a serious question for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't want you to interrupt. JFK, blown away. What else do I have to say?
Yeah, it's a good question. It's a question all of us have been asking ever since that day.
That Billy Joel skyrocketed up the charts.
Yeah.
With his number one hit. We didn't start the fire. Let's hear it.
I was thinking November 22nd, 1963.
11/22/63. Since the day that Stephen King published his seminal work, 11/22/63, in 2011.
So wait, your question was just what
else do I have to say about it?
About John F. Kennedy?
Yeah.
John F. Fitzgerald Kennedy.
Oh my God, it's like he's right here.
It's almost like he's right here. Maybe if we're lucky enough, we might be graced by the president's.
Can we talk about we didn't start the fire just for 1 second?
I mean, we've talked about it for more than 1 second.
Yeah. I just want to he was ripping off It's the End of the World as we know it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it would certainly seem that way. How long before did that come out?
6 months.
Yeah, but I feel like...
No, it was like a hit, clearly.
Billy Joel was aware of R.E.M.?
That song? Yeah. What do you think, Billy Joel lives in a cave? Yeah, he might not, know, Imagine Dragons songs.
He doesn't live in a cave, but he lives out in Oyster Bay, and he's hammered all the time. So, yeah, I do think that maybe he...
Yeah, but I feel like he's got, WBAB on in the background.
Yeah. You think WBAB was playing...
That was a hit, Tom. That was a Stone Cold certified hit.
What do you think about...
Certified gold by the RIAA.
What do you think about the band R.E.M.?
I think they're good. What don't you
But
like
how come
them?
you've never, gotten into them?
I've gotten into them.
Yeah, right.
What do you mean?
That's R.E.M.
I never went super deep on R.E.M., but I think I've heard every R.E.M.
They're
album.
a really good band.
Yeah, I've listened to every R.E.M.
And
album.
whenever I hear an R.E.M. song or album, I'm like, I should be one of those guys that gets really into. I should go back to the late '80s and be one of those guys.
Yeah, you don't want to be that guy that
It's a little before our time. I feel like, right?
Yeah, the early stuff. The guitars are a little too jangly, and you're just like, come on.
Well, I'll tell you what.
What am I supposed to wear? Little glasses?
Jangly.
Jangly?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
He's like a gangly guy. He's very...
Yeah, that's not jangly. That's gangly.
It's close enough. Hey, look at that jangly, gangly guy. You wouldn't say that if you saw Michael Stipe walking down the street?
No.
Yeah, you would. I
Probably
know
not.
you
I'd
would.
be like, oh my God, that's
no,
Michael
but
Stipe.
at first, like, before you recognize him, you'd be like, why is that? Look at that jangly, gangly guy.
Oh. So
He always
JFK,
wears bells. You didn't know that? That's why he's so jangly. Anyway, JFK.
it's the ghost of Christmas past.
Who is?
No, that's Chains.
Yeah. That's Old Man Marley.
Yeah. Bob Marley.
Yeah.
It's a little rock history
Yeah.
for you. JFK, he was a guy. He got like people love JFK, right?
Yeah.
Like across the board, they love this guy, right? Like, is this just a baby boomer thing where it's just like, no, he was president when I was a kid.
When I was kids.
When I was kids. So like, no, he was great, right? Because like everything that like people fault presidents in the modern age for being, he was. Like, he was just like a rich person who got to be president.
Yeah, he was part of a rich family.
Yeah, like he was a womanizer. Like he did things like appoint his brother as attorney general.
Yeah.
And like just like bungled like foreign policy stuff on a large scale, right? Like Bay of Pigs was like insane, right?
Yeah.
But like everybody's like, yeah, but he's so great. Hey, he was shot, all right? The man died.
Yeah. Well,
Hey, JFK, blown away. What else do I have to say?
that's where the saying comes from.
Inevitably comes the response from a baby boomer.
What? Well, here's a few things about JFK. First off, he was young.
Right.
He was very young for a president. Was he one of the youngest presidents? Youngest ever
Yeah,
elected?
he
to
died when
office?
he was 46.
Yeah. So he was elected when he was like 44 then.
Yeah, probably.
So that's one. The biggest thing, I think, just he wasn't in office long enough to get like a bad reputation, you know?
Well, what do you mean?
Because if you're only in office for like 2 years and then you're assassinated in front of everyone,
Yeah, that's true.
it's like, well, yeah, I think people are like, yeah, you know, maybe he didn't really do that much, but he wasn't that bad.
Right.
I like him.
Look, I'm not
three-
anti-JFK. He's my favorite president. I've gone on record saying that.
3, he was a very good speech giver.
Yeah.
Orator.
Orator.
Orator. Yeah. No, I was saying it like he would. Orator.
Yeah, it's orator, right?
Orator. When we get these orators off of my roof.
He says roof, huh?
Yeah.
So you're pro JFK? Stud or dud, Tom?
JFK stud.
What about Dwight D. Eisenhower? Stud or dud?
I'll tell you what, I like Ike. Stud.
Yeah, what the hell? Why was his name Ike, though?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. Ike isn't short for Dwight. Ike is short for Mike.
Is that true? Wait, no. That's not true. So Mike and Ike's Candy is short for Mike and Mike?
Michael and Michaels.
Interesting.
Well, what the hell else would it be short for?
I don't know. I thought it was just like one of those names, like Alan.
Ike is short for Eichel.
I don't know. No, like...
What do you mean one of those names like Alan?
Alan isn't short for anything.
Then it's just a name.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought Ike was.
Ike is not his name. It's obviously short for something.
Yeah, no, I thought it was weird that they called him Ike. But I also thought that Ike was just a standalone name. Like, I can name my son Ike.
I mean, you could.
Yeah.
You can name your son anything you want. And,
Nope.
But, you know, at this point, you really should give him a name, Tim. He's getting pretty old.
I'm going to let him decide his name.
Okay.
People do that. I'm just gonna call him like a junior until he's 4. Then he can name himself like Esmeralda or whatever.
Yeah, that's, you know, when this is you're gonna think that this is not true, But when I was maybe like 5 years old, I talked to my parents. I wanted to change my name to Voltron.
Voltron?
Yeah.
Like, how did you talk to your parents?
I was just like, look, as you both know, I really like the show Voltron. I really like Voltron in particular, the show Voltron. I don't like having the same name as my dad. It's very confusing. It would clear everything up as if my dad was still Tom, but then I was Voltron.
How awesome would it have been if your dad was like, this is a great idea.
I'm going
to be Voltron. You be Tom.
Yeah. Like parent-teacher nights, it was like, oh, you must be Miss Reynolds. Please call me Voltron.
I mean, you can just do that. Like, you can just tell people whatever your name is. Like, kids don't realize that, right? Like, it's like,
yeah.
If you go into school the first day, and like they're like Tommy Reynolds, like they're calling out the attendance, and you can be like, "Hi, I go by Voltron." Like the teacher's just gonna call you Voltron.
I don't think the teacher's
if you say it with confidence.
I don't know, Tim.
I don't know. Would you question a kid? You're afraid his parents are gonna yell at you.
Yeah, I'd question a kid if I was like
a confident kid,
a kindergarten teacher, and some kid told me his name was Voltron. Yeah, I'd give it a second.
If he calmly and rationally told you, "Hi, I know Tom is my given name. However, my family and I have agreed that my name." Like there was a kid, Tom. You know him. His first name was George, and his middle name was Ryan. And he told everybody, "Hey, you better call me Ryan." And everybody always knew him as Ryan.
Who?
Your cousin.
No, it's not my. Oh, is that true? Huh?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes sense. I think I did know that.
Yeah, and one time I was in a class with him.
Second cousin.
I was in a class with him, and the teacher was like, George, and like, he was like, it's Ryan, it's Ryan. He's very embarrassed about it.
Well, I mean, Ryan's not a better name than George.
And guess
They're
what?
both very basic names.
And guess what? The teacher did not question it. She's like, "Oh, I'm very sorry."
Yeah, because
Ryan.
he said his name was Ryan, which was his middle name, not Voltron, which was a
First
robot.
Of all, middle names are not on that sheet.
Middle names are on. You think middle names are not on attendance sheets for school?
Yeah, why would they be?
Why wouldn't they be? Oh, we got to save paper. Don't put the kids' middle names on here.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe if they have a bunch of check boxes next to them, save space.
They are definitely, because in my grade, we had 2 John Smiths.
What?
Yeah.
Well, maybe in that case, you put the middle name. Or why are you naming your kid John Smith? It's the 80s, everybody. Really? John Smith?
Yeah, 2 John Smiths.
That's weird.
And both of them were in love with Pocahontas.
What do you make of Harry S. Truman?
Elizabeth Warren. She was in my class. That's who I'm talking about.
Brother.
What do I make of Harry S. Truman?
Yeah. You dropped the bomb, Tom.
Yeah, literally. I like Truman. Seemed like a good guy. I feel like all these guys, like all the guys...
They got a free pass, all these guys. Like FDR, like Hoover got thrown under the bus, right? Because like it's like, I'm kind of a doofus. I'm kind of a portly dullard.
Portly dullard.
And then the stock market crashed, and I'm like shitty or whatever. But like he was probably a fine guy or whatever. And then FDR through JFK, like FDR, Harry S. Truman, Dwight D. Eisenhower, John F. Kennedy. They were golden boys. They could do whatever they
because the
wanted.
country was doing great.
What? Under FDR?
Well, I mean, like
FDR got 3 freaking terms.
But like that's he like started that off, and then it was like, hey, it's all working.
Yeah. Well, like, Truman had to drop a bomb.
Let's keep it going, everybody.
Yeah.
Let's keep it going for the president, and everybody just kept clapping.
And I feel like LBJ ruined it because LBJ like got a lot of shit done, right? Like he carried on JFK's legacy, but also like everybody knew he was just a really big Texas scumbag who like always just talked about how big his dick was.
Yeah, and showed a bunch of people how big his dick was.
Yeah, and like was like openly kind of corrupt and like just like. Just a dirty player all around. And everybody's
he didn't ask to be president, Tim. He was thrust into it.
He My God, listen, if you read Roger Stone's book, he not only asked to be president, he engineered becoming president.
Oh, I see. Even the second time? Even for his second term?